Good morning from Oklahoma. I'm Dave Deken with a look at what's happening in agriculture and rural life in our great state in this episode of Red Dirt and Round Bales. Some crops arrive in sacks of seed. Oklahoma's pecan crop arrived by river. Long before anyone drew county lines or fenced pastures, pecan trees were growing along creeks and river bottoms of what would become Oklahoma. Water carried the nuts downstream, floods tucked them into soft ground. Squirrels and birds moved them a little further. And wherever the soil was deep, dark, and damp enough, another tree took hold. You know, a map might make those groves look like an accident, but the rivers knew what they were doing. Oklahoma pecan country stretches through much of eastern and southeastern parts of the state. You'll find the trees standing along places like the Arkansas, the Canadian, the Verdigris, the Washita, and the Red River. They really like that bottomland soil. They like having water nearby. And they can live long enough to watch several generations of people come and go beneath their branches. You see, long before statehood, Indigenous people understood the value of the pecan. The nuts arrived in the fall, carrying something people badly needed going into the winter: concentrated energy. They could be gathered, stored, carried, and traded. Native people also helped maintain some groves by clearing competitive vegetation and tending to the trees that produced the best nuts. Spanish explorers traveling through the region in the 1500s wrote about finding thin-shelled nuts here, but commercial pecan farming took much longer to develop. In 1910, Oklahoma's agricultural census recorded nearly 900,000 pounds of pecans. Now by 1940, the harvest had climbed past 12 million pounds. People were beginning to see those old river bottom trees not simply as part of the scenery, but as a crop. Then the Oklahoma Pecan Growers Association was organized in the 1920s. Growers began holding contests to identify superior native trees. Some of the winning selections were propagated and given names such as Merrimack, Cowley, Okla, Hayes, and Patrick. Then came the machinery. For generations, harvesting pecans meant waiting for them to fall, or knocking them loose, and then gathering them from the ground by hand. It was slow work, backbending work, the kind of work that would make a child reconsider how bad they wanted Christmas candy. Mechanical shakers and harvesters changed that. A shaker grips the trunk and sends a hard vibration throughout the tree. Pecans rain through the branches and hit the ground. Sweepers and harvesters gather them, separating nuts from leaves, sticks, and dirt. Now, Oklahoma researchers helped improve that equipment and management practices surrounding it. A state pecan research station opened in Lincoln County in 1946. And that work eventually moved to the Cimarron Valley Research Station near Pecans, where researchers have studied varieties, nutrition, insects, disease, and ways to reduce the crop's natural boom and bust cycle. And pecans certainly have a boom and bust cycle. A tree can produce heavily one year and rest the next. Growers call it alternate bearing. During a big year, branches can carry more nuts than a tree can properly fill. The effort may leave it with little energy for the following season. Now think of it this way. You're trying to run a marathon every other year and spending the year between them recovering. The latest USDA figures show that Oklahoma produces more than 14 million pounds of utilized pecans in 2025, with farm values of more than $20 million. But that number doesn't tell the whole story. Many native groves are not harvested every year. If the crop is light, the price is low, or the cost of bringing in machinery is too high, the nuts just remain on the ground. And that's the hard arithmetic of agriculture. A crop can be hanging right there on the tree and still not be worth picking up. Growers also contend with drought, early freezes, pecan scab, pecan weevils, and a small moth called pecan nut casebearer. In an unmanaged grove, overcrowding may be the biggest problem of all. Too many trees competing for sunlight, water, and nutrients. So growers thin the grove, they clear the brush, they watch traps, weather reports, and Oklahoma mesonet models. Some even carefully shake excess nuts from heavily loaded improved trees so the remaining crop can fill properly, and so the tree may produce again the following year. And on top of that, many Oklahoma growers also run cattle beneath the pecan trees. The grass feeds the cattle, the trees produce nuts, and the same acreage can provide two sources of income. It sounds simple, but it isn't. The cattle, the orchard floor, harvest equipment, fertilizer, and pest treatments all have to be managed together. But like a lot of Oklahoma agriculture, it works because people learn to make several things work on the same piece of ground. When autumn arrives, improved pecans generally are harvested first, beginning around the middle of October, with native pecans following in November. The shakers start working, shelling plants begin running, roadside stands fill with paper sacks, and somewhere, somebody begins thinking about pie. So much so that pecan pie is even a part of Oklahoma's official state meal. But the Oklahoma pecan is more than just a holiday ingredient. It's a crop planted by water, tended first by native people, improved by generations of growers, and carried forward by families who understand that no two seasons are quite alike. And that's the thing about an old pecan tree. It can feed you one year and humble you the next, but it always provides shade. If you care for it and learn to work with its nature instead of against it, it may still be feeding people long after you are gone. That isn't merely just a crop. That is endurance with roots. To learn more about pecan production in Oklahoma, visit reddirtandroundbales.com. I'm Dave Deken, and we'll talk with you next time when we take another look at rural life and agriculture in the great state of Oklahoma on Red Dirt and Round Bales.